we are in a scary month. So I recognize that. So retail investors may be looking at this and saying, well, September historically is the worst month for Bitcoin, right? You can't dispute that. It has been pretty bad in September, okay? But we will get the rate cuts starting in a couple weeks, and we will get more. We will get a lot more this for the remainder of this year. So that could certainly change things for this September. And keep in mind, 2022, 2021, 2020 was when the Fed was raising rates, right? So it's a little bit different story. And plus 2023, we bucked the trend and had a green month. But you know what? You know what comes after September? October. And historically speaking, October is the best month for Bitcoin, right? Look at those juicy gains that we've had. Last year, we had a 29% gain. 2021, we had a 40% gain. 2017, we had a 48% gain in a single month. Look at 2017. Take a look at 2017, okay? 2017 was absolutely fantastic. That was the year after the halving event. Look at some of those juicy gains. In August of 2017, 65%. October, 48%. November, 55%. December, 40%. That's crazy. That's crazy. But we have seen months like that before, right? We have seen many months like that before. I mean, just look at 2021 too. February, we had a 37% gain, followed by a 30% gain. In October, we had a 40% gain. Those months are coming. You just have to be patient. You just have to be patient, right? September is not locked in with the certainty that it will end in red. However, it's still early. Let's see. Let's see what happens. All's not lost. Bitcoin is still here. This is why Bitcoin was created. Distrust in government, the greatest store of value in history. The best hedge against inflation. All the horrible things that we hear about, Bitcoin has a solution for. It's just still, it's very young. So it's prone to manipulation, let's say, right? There are still people that are trying to control it and trying to manipulate it, right? But long term, you can't go wrong with Bitcoin, right? So here's something else that shows the previous cycles till now, like drawdowns. If you guys thought that the current drawdowns that we've had so far are bad, you haven't lived through any of the drawdowns from previous cycles. We have seen many. This cycle so far, our worst drawdown was about 30-something%, okay? But if you look at the last cycle, we had a drawdown down how much? Like 50%, 40%, multiple times. And even the prior cycle, we had how many? A dozen times where Bitcoin fell down 30, 40%. So this is the tamest cycle we've ever had so far, right? A lot of people still are new to this space. They don't quite understand. And I know it can be scary and it sucks, obviously, when things come down. But this is the tamest cycle we've ever had in history of Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin is growing and maturing. And of course, the numbers are way bigger, so it's harder to manipulate. So over time, we're just going to see less and less volatility as Bitcoin gets bigger and mature and more adopted. This is something, right, that shows that, hey, how much, if you look at the global asset value of some of the biggest assets we have, like real estate, gold, equities, debt, where's Bitcoin on the grand scheme of things? Like, it doesn't even show up. That shows you that even though Bitcoin is this high, this large, it seems like everyone's talking about it, but it only represents 0.05% on a global scale in terms of the total asset value there is. It's still so small and so early, right? So one day can Bitcoin go up to 1%, 2% like gold? Yes. But by then, Bitcoin will be like $700,000, $800,000 each. So it's still not too late to load up and DCA and focus on long term. What's really important is this, not short-term movement, not what happens today and tomorrow and next week. Really what you want to focus on is long-term and this cycle. And where are we this cycle? Well, I mean, this is mindset of, what do you call it? This is like a mindset of retail investors. And, it applies to Bitcoin as well. You have, when you're down at the bottom of a crypto winter, that's when it's on the very right side, despair, end of bear, and then you hover there for a little bit. Then, it starts coming back up. Things get better. Accumulation, trend emergence, shakeout. Yeah, we have many of those. Momentum building, first sentiment extreme, which we had back in March. Yeah, we certainly had that. Then we come back down. It's like a bear trap, right? This is a trap for the bears. This is a time for the bears to load up on the shorts like haze and think that, they're going to benefit from it until we go back upwards and liquidate them all. Then that's when the parabolic phase starts. You got that renewed optimism, FOMO, euphoria, and that's when we come back down, right? But this time around, when we come back down from euphoria all the way down to bottom fishing and the spear end of bear, before traditionally, we would see like an 80% drop, okay? Going forward, I'm not so sure we will see an 80% drop. We may see like 50%, 40%. But with the institutions holding so many Bitcoin, and same thing with the ETFs, I have a hard time believing that the next crypto winter is going to bring us down 80%. Unless we do something crazy, like with the FOMO euphoria stage, where somehow Bitcoin hits $500,000 by peak. Yeah, then maybe I say 80% is warranted. But I just don't think we're going to do that. I don't think we're going to go so high into the stratosphere that we will need to come down 80%. So this cycle may be the last traditional 4-year cycle, right? After we hit top. After we start coming down, we start over with a new cycle. I'm not so sure it's going to be the same as before. But I guess we'll see. But right now, like I said, stop worrying about day to day, week to week. Worry about long term. Focus on the future and continue to hold on DCA if you can. That's really what it comes down to.